What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Superman movie that released last year in 2025. Now, actually, I want to mention something about this. I was going to do a whole thing about this movie when it came out and released. I was going to go watch it in theaters, in cinemas where it happened. But around the time, I didn't feel well. I was coughing and sneezing and just under the weather completely. So I didn't want to be that guy to go into cinemas and sit there and cough and sneeze and ruin the whole immersion for everybody in the theater. I didn't want to be that guy. I haven't bought a sweat and everything. You guys will see here. Wow. Here we go. I was going to wear this at the theater and everything like that. And I even wanted to wear it in this video, but you can see the hoodies on here. And you may ask why. Now, it's because if you've seen the logo, right, it's reversed. Because obviously when I'm making my videos, things like that, the way the camera is set up when I record, it's oriented in reverse basically. So now it looks like the Bizarro symbol for Superman is on my chest. I was like, oh my word, I don't want to be as Bizarro Superman. It's not going to look right in the video with the S backwards the whole time. So I was like, okay, let me just show it at least, but I'm still going to put the hoodie on and then I'll go from there, obviously. But listen, I just want to talk about my likes and dislikes quickly in the video. You guys must let me know if you guys have seen this film, if you haven't seen this film. And if you have, what are your likes and what are your dislikes? What did you think overall about the movie? What do you think about DC's future, with James Gunn doing all these projects around this film, building this new cinematic universe? And I want to talk about it on the channel as well because there's a lot of Marvel stuff that I posted. So it seems like I'm just all Marvel. I posted about Spider-Man brand new day. I posted about Marvel Spider-Man. Oh, sorry, not Spider-Man. I spoke about Marvel Doomsday. I mean Avengers Doomsday, sorry. I spoke about Avengers Doomsday, the release, and I did videos on threads and stuff like that. So this is all Marvel. This is my first DC type of video. So I don't want to seem like it's a one-sided thing. I like a lot of DC stuff as well. It's just that there's been a lot of Marvel stuff that's been happening now that I'm interested in, especially with Doomsday. But I did want to cover the Superman movie at least. So I eventually got around to watching, even though it's almost a year or 8 to 9 months, I think. Almost a year after its release, I finally sat down and watched it. And I want to talk about it today. So let's just get into it. I want to talk about my likes about this film. Let's start over there and then we can go to my dislikes and then my overall thoughts at the end of the video. So what I really like is about the suit, man. So we got to talk about the suit. I know that people are talking about the lines on the suit, that it might be not as clean. People are talking about the logo. It's it's a replica, not a replica, but it's similar to the Kingdom Come logo from the Superman line of comics, where he has that shape of logo and it's not the classic S symbol. And I know people are talking about it. Some people have grown to like it. Some people still don't like it as the main Superman. I think it's kind of nice. I think it does fit the suit well. I like the colors of the suit, the vibrance, the bright red, the bright blue, and everything like that. The lines don't bother me too much. I think in motion, everything like that looks fine. I wonder if they're going to upgrade the suit as the movies go on. That would be an interesting topic to talk about, if they will change the S as well going forward. That's interesting. We'll see how that goes. And then I also like Superman, and not even just Superman as a character, but Superman, Clark Kent, and the actor that plays him, of course, David Cornsweet. Amazing performance. And I know a lot of people are talking about it and have been talking about it, that it was a good performance, everything like that. I felt like it was Superman on screen, the lines that he has, the way he delivers it, his look about it. I know he doesn't have I don't know if he doesn't have the classic curl, I guess you could say. But even that, if you want to complain about that, I mean, it's up to you. But I mean, it didn't bother me too much. I know a lot of people want Superman to look a certain way. A lot of people like Henry Cavill's Superman to be that way, to look that way. But we've got to take things also, look at it from afar and look at it from a distance and say, hey, this Superman is still kind of nice. If you do enjoy it, if you don't enjoy it, it's up to you, of course, at the end of the day. But I really like this new Superman, and I want to see how he develops as a character, how far they're going to take him, in his movies, whether they're going to be a Justice League or Justice Gang movie, how they develop him as a character. I would like to see how that goes. Also, another standout is Lex Luthor. Now, Lex Luthor as a character in this movie is almost the most Lex Luthorist he's ever been. I think in a lot of live action movies. I'm not going to count the animated movies, but the live action movies, he's very smart, technical. He knows what he's doing. He's in charge. He's the man in the room that you gotta watch out for. He's so plugged into the tech and his knowledge of Superman and everything like that. I like a lot of the intellect side that Lex Luthor has in this character, and also his ruthlessness regarding some things. Obviously there's some decisions that he makes that are you could have done this different, you could have done that different. But just watching the movie, I really believed that, like, whoa, this guy's gonna cause some damage. And I mean, he put a sorry, and I mean, he put a good fight up, Superman, obviously with Ultraman and everything like that. I did like Lex Luthor in this movie. Moving on to another character, Mr. Terrific. I've never heard of Mr. Terrific before. But when I seen him on the screen and everything like that, I was like, whoa, this guy's a pretty cool character. I like his suit. I like the design of it, of the practical suits, obviously, that they have in this movie. Although a lot of people complain about the suits, like the CW look, the plasticky look to the suits. I don't know how you're going to fix that. For me, watching it as a movie, I think it was fine. So I'm not going to complain too much about it. And I think he has the best fight scene as well, hands down. The Superman, not the Superman, the fight scene, sorry, where Lois Lane is like under this bubble and the camera's like panning around the battlefield as he's taking out different enemies with his T-spheres and everything like that. How he's also a smart character, for the Justice Gang and that side of the superheroes. I think it's cool as well. And like I said, I think he did have the best fight scene. Moving along, the music as well. Outstanding soundtrack, music, Lost Sun, very good Superman like theme. It's got some of the undertone. It's got like the original Superman theme in the undertones of the music. I think it's a lot of good music that plays in, a lot of good choices as well. I liked a lot of the music that I heard in the film. Going on to things that I disliked. Hot take. This is a very hot take. I didn't really like Krypto. I think I've seen too much of him in the film, in my opinion. He took a lot out of the scenes that were happening because he kind of just jumps into the scene and then he's like barking and causing ruckus and stuff like that. But I understand because he's like a dog maybe and like that's his character, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it took me out, that they stopped the whole scene for Superman to like tell Krypto, no, Krypto, stop. Da, 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 da. And Krypto doesn't like listen to him and everything like that. I know it's not his dog. It's like he's looking after it for Supergirl. But for me, watching it as a movie, I didn't really like that when it happened so many times. I knew he was going to be in the movie, but I thought it would just be like, now and then he'd appear and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to get off of that topic. Another thing that I didn't really like sometimes that was happening was the camera shots and the CGI looked a bit weird in some places. But I mean, talking about that, I know I went to go do some research about it, and it's apparently because of the lens that they used, like a wide lens in the film for some shots. I think also the close-ups of Superman flying. You could argue it's a bit weird because I think, for me, if you want to compare like a flight scene from Superman, I mean, the Zack Snyder's, Superman, Man of Steel, his first flight scene, I think that was done well as well. But I mean, how do you do close-up Superman? What angles do you catch him at if you want to catch him up close? I think looking at afar, how he's zipping by and flying really showcases his speed. But if you close up, you can like see his cape flap. You can see the grains of sand or the snow pop around him and the wind in his hair and stuff like that and how it affects his face. So I understand why they did it close up. But for me, sometimes in the movie, it looked a bit weird, just like optically. And of course, some of the CGI in some places, because it's a very bright movie, I think it's like, as the CGI has got to be very clean. And that's another topic that people have been talking about, how the industry standard of the CGI has been degrading, How are we going like backwards in terms of quality and certain things in the film industry where, it's supposed to be getting better over time because we have better technology, but still people bring up like, oh, the first Transformers, has the cleanest CGI, which, I mean, if you've seen that film, it's got very good CGI. But yeah, I'm going to move on from that point. I don't want to get stuck too long. I also think that the movie is very crowded. It's very bloated. And I understand that, the whole point of this movie was to drop us in with metahumans and superheroes existing already. I think Superman has been Supermaning for 3 years at this point. But I feel like there's a lot going on with the Justice Gang and Superman. He's still like trying to discover himself about his parents' message. And then we got, like I said, the Justice Gang, the whole Lex Luthor stuff that's going on over there. We've also got the social media stuff that's they're busy bashing him online, which is actually like a bunch of bots that's going on from Lex Luthor. And also the fact that he's got like pocket dimension. The Earth was splitting in two because of the physics stuff happening there. For me, it was a lot going on in the film, and I know a lot of people didn't want to see an origin story because how many times do we need to see Superman going from the landing the ship and him growing up and learning to become Superman? I think it was a very bold move, to just jump us straight into it. But there was a lot of stuff going on. Even I didn't mention like the political stuff that was going on between him and like the what's the country? Bolivia. So I think that's the name of the country. I'm gonna throw it up on screen. But yeah, there was a whole side plot there, and a lot of these threads, they kind of just all tied together to Superman. Superman's like the middle point of this movie that this all connects in. So for me, it felt like there was a lot going on. I don't know if I would have preferred like a more single focus story with just Superman and Lex Luthor and like him working at the Daily Planet. As like I said, I still liked the film, but for me at times it felt like, whoa, what's going on? You know, it's getting very crowded. Moving on from there, another complaint that I have. This is my last, not complaint, but like my dislike, is how many times Superman is getting beaten in this movie. And I understand that he's durable. He's not really invulnerable for most parts, you know, like every time he gets hit or punched or something like that, he's flying back. Like he's going through the walls, through the buildings, crashing down and things like that. And I understand that these threats are like, you know, they're strong threats, you know. But I mean, if he not he loses, but he gets a lot of beatings in this movie. He's not like, I think that he's not like as the strongest point in his life, you know, as Superman, because he's only been 3 years as Superman, so he's still learning how to fight maybe, or, you know, he's trying not to cause too much damage to the area around him. But I mean, yeah, he did have nice fight scenes, I will say. But like I said, it seems like he's a bit on the weaker side. I mean, even though when he gets juiced up by the sun, people are still like beating him, like physically, I mean, like hand to hand. But the fight scenes were nice. I did enjoy the fight scene ultimately between him and Ultraman. That's something I also liked. But yeah, it does seem like he's a bit weaker or something. I don't know. That's the feeling that I got. But yeah, let me know on that. Because I know a lot of people are comparing him to Henry Cavill Superman, saying, "Oh, you'll wipe him out." But I mean, the guys, this is separate universes. Why do we keep bringing up that Superman when we're talking about the new Superman? Anyway, listen, I just want to wrap up this video with my final thoughts. It's gotten a bit too long. It's not a review, like I said. But I want to talk about what I think about the future of DC and where they're going to take this. I think the next super movie that's coming out is Supergirl. That's releasing this year. I think sometime around June or July, I think. That's going to be interesting. I don't know if I'm going to go see that or not. And I know Man of Tomorrow is another movie that's coming out in 2027. So for me, I wonder, what are they building to? Is this going to be like a dark side thing that they're building to? Is it going to be a Brainiac thing that they're building towards? I don't know. I think for me, I'm just watching these films, and if I like them, I like them, and if I don't, I don't. You know, for me, getting invested into like another like MCU type of universe, you know, where they're building all these things together. I kind of want to see still what more DC has to offer. You know, how are they going to do Batman? How are they? I'm actually very excited to see the Flash. How are they going to do the Flash? You know, they're going to do like a Barry Allen storyline. People are saying that they should do maybe Wally West, introduce him as well, because you've seen so much of Barry Allen already. Maybe we can do Wally West, give him some show. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, you know, in terms of the DC universe, because there's so many aspects and avenues that can go down. Obviously, Peacemaker. I watched Peacemaker season 1, season 2. I think it's a very good show. I mean, even outside of even if you take the Peacemaker DC-ness away of it, you can just watch it as a normal show, and it's very good. I really enjoyed it when I watched it. I think it came out last year, right? Yeah, I think it came out last year, and I watched it. So it was very good. But listen, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I didn't want to talk too long, but I see we've already reached like over 10 minutes. So, yeah, apologies for that. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for it being so long. I want to apologize again. Take care, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, of course. Have an awesome day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.